So what I want to do here is talk about the multiverse in relation to all new, all different Marvel. And the reason why is because those of you who are getting into Marvel Comics for the first time, what you're seeing here is Marvel effectively building their multiverse. But what they're also doing is drawing on elements of the multiverse as it existed prior to Secret Wars. And so I think that in order to really understand everything that's going on, we need to have an understanding of the structure of the multiverse as it existed prior to Secret Wars in order to understand how it's unfolding in all new, all different Marvel. So in Marvel Comics prior to Secret Wars, the multiverse was structured in a fashion that saw various dimensions and realms existing alongside and as branches of their respective universes, which in turn compose the multiverse itself. Using the main Marvel universe as an example, this universe was referred to as Earth 616 and was where a bulk of the stories took place. Branching off from Earth 616 were a series of dimensions, and the concept of the Asgardians is really a good place for us to start here. In Marvel Comics, Asgard is quite literally a giant chunk of land situated in a dimension by itself. The other worlds of Muspelheim, Alfheim, Vanaheim, Jotunheim, Svartalheim, Hel, and Niflheim all exist within their own dimensions as well. Now the key here is that Marvel never really explored these territories, and all we knew was that there was a planet in each of these dimensions dedicated to the inhabitants of these various realms. But the other half of this equation was that there were times when these dimensions were depicted as pocket universes, which is to say, smaller universes inside of larger universes. On the whole though, it's just up to personal preference regarding what it is that you prefer, but for the sake of our discussion, the concept of dimensions operating separate from one another will serve fine. Now to take these concepts of dimensions a little further, Dormammu, one of the most powerful entities in Marvel Comics and Doctor Strange's most dangerous foe, exists in a place called the Dark Dimension, and the Microverse existed as a dimension that could be accessed by shrinking down to the smallest size possible using Pym particles. However, while these locations vary from Earth-like to wildly exotic, all of these dimensions exist under the umbrella of the Earth 616 universe. Conversely, the Ultimate Universe, referred to as Earth 1610, had its own version of Asgard, the corresponding Asgardian worlds, the Dark Dimension of Dormammu, and presumably the Microverse, although this was never really explored. In addition to this, each universe had its own cosmic entities like Eternity, but also had its own versions of Galactus, the various Celestials, and so on. Having said that, the multiverse as it existed prior to Secret Wars was a collection of all these various universes and their respective dimensions functioning as a cohesive unit, which was overseen by the Living Tribunal, and between these various universes existed what are referred to as the Many-Angled Ones, which were beings like Shuma-Gorath. Because the history of the Many-Angled Ones was never really explored in Marvel Comics, this race was only ever really seen on a couple of occasions and rarely ever entered into an actual universe itself. The only time this happened was during Marvel Premiere issue number 14 when Shuma-Gorath killed the Ancient One, allowing Doctor Strange to become the Sorcerer Supreme, as well as several other subsequent appearances in the Thanos Imperative when Death was killed in an alternate reality which kept everyone and everything from dying in that alternate universe. Now outside of the multiverse in a dimension that was unexplored were the Beyonders. Now how they got there and how long they had been in existence was never really explored, and in truth, their appearance in Hickman's story of Time Runs Out was the most information we had ever received on any of them. And so after all of this has been said, the question is, how does this translate into All New, All Different Marvel? Because All New, All Different Marvel starts 8 months after Secret Wars, which hasn't ended yet, it's really difficult for us to know exactly how the multiverse came into existence. But using some of the past information, we can basically piecemeal things together. Starting with the One Above All, because this being exists as the all-powerful creator of the Marvel Multiverse, in truth, until such a time as Marvel states that the One Above All is either living or dead, we can't really assume whether he's alive or not, and so I'm just going to kind of leave this out there for people to decide and just kind of run with. The Living Tribunal is up in the air as well, since it was created by the One Above All to maintain balance in the multiverse, but was shown to have been killed by the Beyonders during Time Runs Out, and so again, we don't know if the Living Tribunal is back. The cosmic entities, however, are not necessarily as ambiguous. The being who was depicted in the A-Force preview from Avengers issue number 0 was actually a being called Singularity, who is a new character that's basically a pocket dimension that gained awareness and manifested itself in the main Marvel universe. However, beings like eternity and infinity are the representation of the universe itself. And so if Marvel sticks with past information like they're doing now, it would make sense that eternity exists in some fashion, since eternity would effectively represent this new universe. Finally, in the Ultimates preview, which was also from Avengers issue number 0 when America Chavez traveled to a rip in space to close it off, Marvel established that the many-ankled ones still exist in the space between universes, which tells us that the multiverse also exists, although its size is unknown. Furthermore, during an interview with Comics Alliance, Al Ewing had explicitly stated that Galactus was going to be an enemy of the Ultimates, and of course we know Galactus to be one of the cosmic entities. But more so than that, Al Ewing had stated that he intended to have a storyline that would involve the Dreaming Celestial, which is one of the many Celestials that existed prior to Secret Wars. And so what's basically happening here is Marvel is preparing to expand their universe and eventually introduce more universal constructs as time goes on. But again, because this is all new, all different Marvel, it's hard to know exactly where it is that they're going. But armed with the information in this video, I think you should be pretty well prepared for whatever it is that happens to pop up and however it is that their multiverse expands, and you'll be able to kind of compare and contrast the previous multiverse with the multiverse as it grows in all new, all different Marvel. With that being said, we're going to bring this video to an end, and I hope it was helpful to you guys, and I will catch you all later. Peace.